Hello, I'm Dr. Paul here at IMED DTLA, and I'm going to explain a couple of injuries from whiplash. Here we have a couple of illustrations of a hyperflexion injury. You can see how the vertebra here is fractured. A little tip of it is coming off due to being tossed forward, and these vertebrae hit each other, and that's how a fracture can happen from a hyperflexion. Here we have a couple of illustrations of a hyperflexion injury. You can see how the vertebra here is fractured. A little tip of it is coming off due to being tossed forward, and these vertebrae hit each other, and that's how a fracture can happen from a hyperflexion. We're going to go over a hyperextension. Hyperextension, and this is when the neck goes back from a whiplash injury, and you can see how that's a fracture of the vertebra here. Same thing, the bones jam and they hit and they fracture different areas, causing pain in a whiplash injury when it goes back and forth. Next, we're going to cover muscle injuries from a whiplash movement, car accidents or whatnot, so fall. Here we can see how muscle fibers rip from being hyperextended or going even forward. It stretches out some of these muscle fibers, and they rip, causing muscle spasms, and a lot of times these muscles get really tight. People are stiff-necked, and it'll cause headaches, insomnia, anxiety. All those are very common from a whiplash injury. Cover spinal cord injuries that may happen from a whiplash injury, being tossed forward, backwards, forwards. It stretches out the spinal cord, creating tension. And here we can see an illustration of how the bones can pinch on that spinal cord, causing problems with the sensation of the nerves coming out of the neck, going to the arms. People have numbness, tingling, weakness of the arms from spinal cord injury. And those are just to name a few. And last, we're going to cover the ligament damage that happens from a whiplash. Here we have an illustration of how it rips those ligaments, the tendons here. Same thing, from being hyperextended, being a whiplash going back, forward, and being stretched out, rips ligaments in that situation, and that'll cause headaches as well, causes more pain than you want, and it takes time for the healing process to occur.